Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Monday. Welcome back. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. Let's get today's video started. If you are new to my channel, if you're just randomly coming across this video, I'm going to warn you right now, I tend to ramble. I tend to go down rabbit holes. I am not someone who works off of a script. However, I did make myself a few notes here to try to keep myself on task, but it's probably going to be a longer, more commentary style video, so strap in. There's a few different areas that I want to address, and I kind of might move between all of those, just fair warning. Anyway, today's video, just to get into our little intro here about why I'm doing this particular video, I have been watching a lot of commentary style videos over the last couple of months around the topic of cosmetic procedures, the sort of ethical debate around cosmetic procedures, whether they should even exist, whether people should be allowed to get them, whether it should just be certain people that get cosmetic procedures, whether it's the right thing to do or not, how it affects how people view themselves, all of that kind of stuff. And as someone who has chosen to partake in some cosmetic procedures, I thought it would be interesting to sort of share my opinion about it, because there's certainly a whole host of different types of thoughts. And sometimes there have been people who, have made videos that have never had anything done. And so, I always think that those are very interesting, but I think it's also very interesting to hear from people who have had things done and whether they regret those procedures, whether they would ever do them again in the future, if it had a negative effect on their life in some kind of way. So yeah, anyway, that's what we're talking about, you guys. I have never ever hid from you. If you've been a subscriber of mine here on my channel, you have seen a lot of videos about the different things that I have done. I don't see the point in hiding whether you have done something to your face or your body to modify it in some kind of way. I don't see the purpose in that at all, because it's usually clear as day to most people with eyeballs that things have changed, and while I also understand that it's nobody's business, I do understand that if you put yourself out there, that can open you up to questions, maybe even concerns, thoughts, opinions. And I am someone who tries their best to respect other people's opinions. But I will say this right now, if you are going to be in the comments down below berating me in any kind of way for the choices that I make, telling me that I'm a bad person, telling me that I'm ugly, telling me that I'm a piece of garbage, that I'm a bad mother, you guys, doing YouTube really does come with a dark side. And that dark side is the negativity. I have so many really great subscribers that are super supportive, but I also have some subscribers that have been very unsupportive and unkind. And then I've also had just a ton of random people that have come across my videos that have left, just they know nothing about me and make all sorts of assumptions, and that can be frustrating. So I readily block, I readily delete people's comments, because this is my platform, and while I totally respect a differing opinion on the topic, I'm going to ask that you are respectful when sharing that opinion. I don't mind if it's the total opposite of mine, but you don't need to tell me that I'm a piece of garbage, because yeah, I'm not gonna have that. Like I said, it is my platform, and it is my right to not have stuff like that. In fact, it got to the point on a lot of my videos where I put in keyword filters that would automatically filter the negative comments out, because they were just so frequent. Sometimes here and there one still gets through by people who are creative, but I check my comments pretty much every single day, and while I get a lot of comments because I have a lot of videos on my channel, you know, if I'm bored, I will sit there for a half hour and read through them and happily block and delete the people that are just nasty for no reason. Again, you can have a different opinion, but you don't get to be mean. I don't know. I'm a mother. I teach my kid that she is not allowed to be mean to other people just for the sake of being mean. I don't believe in that at all. And those videos, the reason that I have put them out is because I have gained so much useful information personally from watching other people's journeys that they were kind enough to share here on this platform. And it has helped me make the most informed decisions for myself. There have been certain procedures that I've researched that, like, once I watched videos, I have thought, nope, that's not for me. No thanks. And there have been other videos that I've watched where I've thought, yes, like this is what I needed. This is the information that I needed to help me make my decision. And so it's almost in a way like contributing to that conversation so that other people who are just now coming to research the topic, I can just share my opinion, right? Like what the experience was like for me, and hopefully help someone else decide whether they want to do something or not. The thing that I will never do in any of my videos is tell you that you have to go do it. That is up to you. I'm gonna talk about what it was like, what it cost, what the pain level was, what the recovery was like, whether I would do it again, whether it was worth it, you know, all of that kind of stuff. But I will never ever tell anyone, you need to go get a facelift. Like, I just won't, you know, it's not my style. So that is why I have always shared everything that I have done to my body and my face. And I just want to help contribute to the conversation of helping people decide, like, yes, this is something I want, or no, absolutely not, after watching this video. So yeah, let's talk about what I've had done, because this is, I feel like this is probably the thing that most people are curious about that have not been on my channel for a number of years, like a lot of you have. Okay, let's get started with the most major thing that I have had done in terms of cosmetic procedures. I did have a mommy makeover after I gave birth to my daughter. We only have one child. That's all that we ever wanted. And after I gave birth, I had a massive case of diastasis recti. If you are not familiar, it's essentially like a massive hernia. When you are pregnant, let's talk anatomy, your stomach muscles separate to accommodate this, you know, massive human that you are growing. And in a lot of people after pregnancy, those muscles come back together and you have your core like connected again. For me, the muscles basically were like, we're just gonna hang out here. I would lay in bed at night after dinner and I could watch my food make its way through my intestines. I could see my intestines move. I did not have a lot of fat on my belly, and so I literally just could see my intestines moving around. And it just wasn't, I didn't want that. And also having a massive hernia like that just isn't like, it's a safety concern, right? Like you need that protection in your core to protect your organs. A lot of women, you know, who have only a mild case of diastasis recti would be able to do physical therapy to bring those muscles back together. Mine was so severe and my muscles were so far apart that there was no amount of physical therapy. And I asked, there was no amount of physical therapy that I could do to bring those muscles back together. They needed to be surgically repaired. And while they were at it, they also did remove the extra skin that I had. And my scar is not perfect. You can tell that I had the surgery even years later. The scar does not bother me one bit. It is hidden for the most part. Even if it wasn't, I would have zero shame about it. It is what it is. I had the surgery. I am not like ashamed of it. And I love having core strength. She sewed those muscles together very, very tightly. In fact, so tightly that my recovery was rough. If you watch my Mommy Makeover series, I struggled. Do not take this surgery lightly. And the recovery, it's not gonna be final for a full year. It is a commitment. Now, with that Mommy Makeover, most women opt to get implants because if you breastfeed, typically your boobs will deflate. Well, I was born with the genetics for enormous boobs to begin with. I started developing very early in life, and it was something that I was very self-conscious about. I've wanted a breast reduction since I was 16 years old. And I knew, however, that I probably wanted kids at some point and that I would want to breastfeed, and so I put it off. But throughout my teenage years, throughout my 20s, I always thought that after I have a kid, if I choose to do that, I will have a breast reduction. If I decide to not have any kids, I will still have a breast reduction. And for me, my boobs only got bigger after I stopped breastfeeding my daughter. And it made sense to do the breast reduction surgery, which is what I had, at the same time as the tummy tuck and the repair of the diastasis recti. So that was the biggest procedure that I have had. I am going to talk about cost here, but that will be after I tell you guys everything that I've had done. What else? Oh, CoolSculpting. So I had CoolSculpting done on my inner thighs. I am someone who, when I gain weight, it goes mostly to my thighs. Super frustrating because then I deal with chub rub, which is so annoying, right? Like when your thighs rub together, especially in summer, that chafing, that rash, that like, it just is uncomfortable. And I would wear through my pants super, super fast. And whenever I gained weight, it would be there. Whenever I lost weight, I really wouldn't lose it from my inner thighs. And so after doing a lot of research, I thought I would try CoolSculpting. It absolutely worked. I will warn you right now, there are a lot of people who have had really bad complications from CoolSculpting. The most famous would probably be Linda Evangelista. You can look up that whole story. She actually sued the, I think it's called Zeltique. They're the ones that own the CoolSculpting brand name and the devices that they use to do the procedure. For me, I did not have a bad experience at all. It did not make my thighs go to the point where they weren't still like touching. Just the way that my anatomy is, I am not someone who's ever gonna have a thigh gap. I didn't expect that. I just wanted to be able to not have to always apply like an anti-chafing cream between my thighs, or to always have to wear like biker shorts underneath my dresses because it was just so uncomfortable to have my, like that skin on skin, especially in the summer. And so, yeah, I went and had that done and it worked great for me. And can you gain the weight back? Yes. And there have been times where my weight has fluctuated since then, but I have actually now been able to like lose that weight again in my inner thighs. So it did something to the fat cells in there where, you know, when they filled up a little bit again, that they also then emptied out once I went on a diet and healthy diet and exercise program to lose the excess weight. So no regrets there. I have, just in terms of like my face, let's talk about my face. I get Botox in my forehead. I have oily skin and also a very expressive face, and I wear makeup. Bad combination. I just got really tired of mopping the makeup, which would basically just collect in the lines that went across my forehead. I would constantly be having to like blot that makeup out of there. The 11s, again, because my face was super expressive, were really starting to set in. And I just felt like I didn't like that like angry look to my forehead. And so I just thought, I'm gonna try some Tox. And turns out I loved it. I have had it placed in different areas of my forehead to have different effects. right now, and I only get like a very moderate amount, like it's not a ton of Botox. And because I've done it so long at this point, I'm able to go longer between treatments. But I love it. I just, yeah. Right now, instead of like having that like lift that I used to really like at my temples over here, my brows are just a little bit more like flat and natural, a little bit less expressive, but I love it. Like I love not having to mop the makeup out of my forehead lines. It's glorious. I do not get tox around my eyes at all. I don't really have any wrinkling there. Even if I did, I'm not sure that I would, because usually those fine lines are not as bad about like collecting as much makeup. I did, you guys, this set off so many people and it was wild. I have to tell you about some of these comments. So there are people on my channel who come and go, right? Well, I decided to get tox in my masseter muscles. Your masseter muscles are these muscles inside your mouth that help you chew your food. They can also grow to a very substantial size if you grind or clench your teeth 24/7 the way that I did for much of my 20s, 30s, and early 40s. My muscles got so bulky that it made my face look even rounder than it was naturally. I had so much mass in this area just from my masseter muscles that it changed the look of my face significantly. Now, my dentist was telling me, yeah, your gums are receding. The tops of your teeth are wearing down. You need to stop grinding your teeth. You got to do something. You need to either wear I have a custom mouth guard. You need to wear the mouth guard during the day as well as night. You need to stop doing this. You are going to crack your teeth. You are going to have to get a gum graft. You need to do something different. And, you know, he told me about some different options and he was like, even if it means going and getting Botox, do something. You need to do something. So, I hate my mouth guard. At night, I would spit it out and I'm not wearing it during the day. I'm just not. I don't find it to be a comfortable device, and it was custom made for my mouth and I still didn't think it was comfortable. So I chose the tox route. So I get Xeomin in my masseter muscles as well. And when the muscles started to finally atrophy and go back down to their normal size, it really changed the look of my face. And the people who had taken a break from my channel for a little while, who came back, oh man, did they let me have it. Did you have a lower facelift? You look so different. What the hell did you do to yourself? Like, you look awful. What did you do to your face? You look nothing like you did a year ago. Just like a barrage of like comments like that. And it just blew my mind because I was like, first of all, like, I don't mind you asking, but like, why are you being an ass? Like, can you ask nicely? Like, what changed? You look a little bit different. Like, I don't mind answering that question at all. But if you're gonna come here and berate me and assume I did a bunch of stuff to my, like, people were like, you must have like had a facelift. You must have put up like a bunch of filler like in this part of your face to like make this look smaller. You look awful. Did you have buccal fat removal surgery? Like all of this kind of stuff. And I was like, no. It was wild to me, like the comments that people started making, because guess what? This is naturally actually what my face looks like without me like grinding and clenching my teeth. Like, it's just normally what my face is supposed to look like in this area. And my teeth are like, I no longer grind, I no longer clench. The one thing that I will never ever stop doing, even if budget becomes an issue, is the tox in my masseters. It has changed my life and will salvage what is left of my gums and the enamel on my teeth, and it will never ever be a regret. I have videos about this topic. You are welcome to go check those out. Lip filler. Yes, I have had lip filler. I will say I haven't had it touched up in quite some time, and it is starting to fade. I'm pretty lucky in that like it hasn't really migrated. It may have migrated a little bit up here, but it's really not bad. But yes, the filler is finally starting to be metabolized by my body, and I don't know whether I am going to have it retouched when I go in July to do my forehead and my masseter talks. I might. If I feel like I want to at that time, I will. But the most that I would ever get in terms of lip filler, by the way, I do Revenesse, is probably half a syringe, which, if you know your filler, is not a lot of product at all. Basically, I just wanted my lips to look a little bit more like they did when I was younger. My lips in recent years definitely have, you know, they shrink as you age. It's just a normal part of aging, and I just didn't like it. So I went and got filler, and guess what? I liked it at the time. And as it has sort of settled and started to metabolize, you know, I haven't made the long-term decision about like if I'm going to continue with it. Honestly, it's kind of uncomfortable to get, and that would probably be the only reason why I wouldn't do it again. But pain is not gonna stop me if I'm interested in having a procedure. I gave birth to a child. Like, if I can get through that, I can pretty much handle any pain. So, and that's what I've had done. In terms of just like some other minor things, my brows are micro shaded on my face because I overplucked them in the early 90s. And I have had my sebaceous hyperplasia treated on my face with plasma pen, which, by the way, those never came back. The ones that I had treated have never come back. But those were kind of more like, I guess, minor things. But that's it. That is what I have done to my face. And do I have any regrets? Absolutely not. Everything that I have done has been made with a ton of research, very informed decisions on my part. I am someone who prides myself on looking at all of the pros and cons, making a list of them, and then weighing them and making the decision of, yes, I want to do this, or no, I don't. Also, I am someone who firmly believes in, if you don't have the money to have something done, you just don't do it. My husband and I are totally on the same page when it comes to this in terms of paying for stuff like this. When we did my mommy makeover, the surgeon that I went through offered the CARE credit card. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with this one. At the time, they were doing a year of interest-free financing. We actually probably could have paid for the surgery out of pocket, but it was kind of nice to like spread it out over the course of the year. It was paid off by, I believe, month 11. We do not believe in going into credit card debt, especially for like fun, frivolous things like this. It's not responsible. We were both raised by parents who really stressed that if you do not have the money to do something or to buy something or to, you know, have an experience, then you just don't do that thing. You just don't. You find something else that is more affordable and you do that thing, or you save up. And yeah, I have never like gone into debt for anything that I've done. In the past, when I was a florist, oftentimes like I would get really nice tips because people were always really happy with the quality of my work. And so sometimes I got some really substantial tips and I would set that money aside, and that was my fun money for things like talks or the CoolSculpting. Honestly, most of that stuff was paid for by tips that I made working as a florist. So yeah, like I am not someone who believes in going into debt for stuff like this. And I would really encourage you to not do that either. You know, I think that credit cards are a very useful tool, but they need to be used responsibly. I cannot tell you the amount of friends that I have that are in massive credit card debt because when they were in college or in their 20s, they lived off of their credit cards because it was fun, right? The interest that accrues on those is wild, you guys. You have to be financially responsible, and I will always stress that. But do I regret, again, any of the stuff that I've done? Absolutely not. I do want to address kind of my just overall philosophy on whether I think these procedures should even be around. And I am someone who is really of the mindset of do whatever you want for yourself. Do your research. If you have the money for it and it's what you want to do, it's nobody else's business, go do it. Don't let other people tell you how to live your life. If you really want something, go for it. And that goes for anything in life. I will never let anyone tell me that I can't do something or that I should do something. I'm a very smart person. Not the smartest person ever, but I know how to make informed decisions for myself. And I have really done a lot of work on my own, just self-confidence and, you know, what I want for me. And I do what makes me happy. I am not against aging at all. You guys, I have gray hair. It's naturally gray hair. I don't dye this. I am embracing that part of my aging. There are other areas that I'm trying to kind of slow things down because that's what I want for me. But I'm not going to tell you that you need to do all of the same things that I need to do. I think women just need to be more empowered and more confident in themselves. And I think that has to do with the way that you are raised, which is going to bring me into the, like, my daughter topic here in a second, because this one really gets me sometimes. But yeah, like, you need to make the decisions that work for you. Don't let society influence you. And I know that's easier said than done, but I used to basically just live my life, especially in my younger years, in a way where if someone told me that I should or shouldn't do something, like, I would always be like, oh gosh, maybe I shouldn't. Like, I would just always let that take me down. And then I thought, you know what, I need to go to therapy. For a multitude of reasons. I think everyone should probably actually go to therapy, but that really helped me so much with my self-confidence. It really helped me identify, you know, what my triggers are. It helped me kind of walk through some things that I dealt with in my past. Like, I was teased a lot as a kid. I was very awkward. You know, my body changed very drastically, very quickly. And that was tough. And I still remember being teased about things, and, you know, it took a lot to get to work through that. But now at this point in my life, I just don't let other people tell me, like, how I should feel about myself, because it's nobody else's business but my own. And I do what I want. That's my philosophy. I think everyone should do what you want. But I think it starts with raising boys and girls to be really, you know, empowered in their own bodies and what they want for themselves, and to not always listen to the outside noise. Right now, our daughter is obviously still pretty young, so we make medical decisions for her. Her body is still, I guess, very much under our control, if you will. But I am teaching her that when she is an adult, if she wants to do something because she maybe has a little bit of insecurity, or she's curious about something, or, you know, if she, like me, ends up with giant boobs and wants a breast reduction, I will happily, like, I will help her with that. Because if that's what she wants after really thinking about it, then I will help her through that process. But I'm not going to tell her that she has to, like, do anything to her body. It is up to her. It belongs to her. And I am teaching her to not allow people to tell her what she can and cannot do with her life, her body. And I'm teaching her to just be confident in who she is. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. Honestly, I needed a drink of water. So, yeah, essentially, I am just basically teaching my daughter that she can make decisions for herself and that she doesn't need to be influenced by outside factors. If she decides that she wants to get healthier, or that she wants to, you know, like go and have something done, and she's given it a lot of thought, and she has the money for it, then I will absolutely support her. And if she never wants to do a single thing, I will support her, because you know what? I'm raising her to make those decisions on her own. And I think the most important thing is to teach your kids to not necessarily be influenced by other people. That is easier said than done. This is a tough time, I feel like, to be raising kids, because social media definitely has changed a lot of things, and I am not immune to that. I see that, and it definitely concerns me in a lot of ways, which is why I put so much effort into being a mother who communicates with her child on a very regular basis. She is allowed to come and talk to me about whatever she needs to. There's no judgment. And I will always walk through life alongside her, encouraging her to do the things that she needs to be happy with herself. Yeah, so that's honestly, like, that has been the part that has been the hardest for me, is the people who have accused me of being a bad mother by getting Botox or by having lip filler. I don't have any type of BD, body dysmorphia or whatever. I don't have that. Like, I certainly look at things and sometimes I'm like, not a big fan of that. And do I want to change it? Yes. Great. Let's go do it. Or it's not worth it. Let's move along. And I move along. But I am a darn good mom, and I will not have anyone tell me that, I don't deserve to be a mother because of the choice that I have made to, you know, like I said, get Botox or filler, or have CoolSculpting done. Those are choices that I made for me because they were right for me. And if those choices are not right for you, then that's totally fine. But that does not allow you then the opportunity to tell me that I don't deserve to be a mom because of those choices. Like, that has just been the wildest thing to me. And probably like the thing that has bothered me the most, and why I was maybe a little bit nervous to even like do this video, because that's the thing that's the most sensitive to me. Like, you know, people, I have a lot of people tell me that, you know, I'm unattractive, or that my gray hair makes me look like a witch, or that I look 30 years older than my age of 44. You know, people will say a lot of things to you, especially if you put yourself out there. But I am now at a point where that stuff just rolls off my back, and, you know, I know that that's not true. And I just delete it, because I don't want other women to see that, who might still be in a place where they are sensitive to that type of criticism, and who it does have a negative mental effect on. But for me, I just think you're an idiot. If you go out of your way to like berate someone who you do not know, I think there's something wrong with you. I really do. It's wild to me that like how the internet has really changed with how people interact with each other. Like, I think kindness has definitely in a lot of ways taken a back seat, and that's not right. Like, no one should be berated for a choice that they make for themselves, especially if it has no effect on you in any kind of way. So anyway, that's my take. That's my philosophy. Also, I'm a great mom. I'm really proud of that. Like, I have had a lot of jobs in my life. I've started a couple of really successful companies, and I'm really proud of how far I have come in life. But the thing that I am most proud of is this little person that I am raising to go out there and to be a strong, confident human being who can live her best life, and you know, can make great changes in this world that is like ever evolving and changing, and in a lot of ways can be really negative sometimes. So yeah, anyway, that's my take, you guys. Thanks for sitting through this 35-minute video. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm always curious about how you guys feel about this topic, and even if you have a completely different opinion than me, as long as you are respectful, I would love for you to leave it down below. If you have any further questions, leave them down below. I'm happy to answer them. I might even, you know, do another video if you have like another topic around this that you're interested on. But yeah, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about this, and thank you for listening to mine. And I hope that it sort of helped to explain why I have done what I have and why it was the right choice for me. So thanks, you guys. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it informative, helpful, interesting in any kind of way. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.